You're listening to The World According to Jen and Carolyn, a show about football. Psych. Labor Day.
What's up?
Thank you to Organized Labor for not just this long weekend, but the weekend in general.
Yay.
A lot of folks don't know that if it weren't for the effort of organized labor, like 100+ years ago, we would not have the 8-hour workday or the weekend. Mm-hmm. So I say this not just because I am invested in and a part of the labor movement, but because I recognize that we all benefit. There's also, as far as I'm concerned, no such thing as unskilled labor.
Nope.
So for the folks who are working today to bring you your food, whatever the case may be.
I work today.
You work today too.
Today.
That was definitely skilled labor, right? The people, we got groceries from Safeway. They're all union. They're working hard. You know, they make my life easy. I order my groceries online. I roll up. I pick shit up. Easy.
Yay.
For my working
workers.
Mom ass. So thank you, workers. But we're going to talk about, we've been doing a lot of heavy shit, right?
Yeah.
Like we're about to drop the Epstein one this week, which is about as heavy as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
And so we thought that we could make fun of some quote unquote celebrities who are like ultra right-wing MAGA freaks.
I love how you did the air quotes with celebrities, because some of these to me, half of them I didn't know because I'm just not like in that world.
Yeah. Well, some of them are influencers, right? We're not even connected with a lot of influencers that are, supporting messages that we agree with, let alone like weird right-wing shit. And so there's that. But, we wanted to dive into the intriguing world of public figures who have recently veered toward conservative MAGA politics. So we've got Hollywood stars who are embracing Republican identity. Like we said, Gen Z influencers who are mobilizing young conservatives. So we want to unpack why these shifts actually matter and what they reveal about politics, fame, and identity. Mm-hmm. Because it's easy to just laugh off these D-listers who show up at the RNC. R.I.P. Hulk Hogan. People like that were like, okay, whereas at the DNC, we've got like Beyonce and all these like real
like
celebrities.
People too.
Totally. Not Kid Rock. So we'll be talking.
He had a time.
He's always been his character in Joe Dirt.
Oh, 100%.
That is him in real life.
Can I ride in your car?
Brandy!
Can I ride in your Hemi? I love that movie.
That movie is absolutely amazing. Who's the other? Is it Dennis Miller who's the radio host in that? Isn't he a right-winger?
Yeah.
Okay,
weird. I know. Weird.
God damn it. So, Carolyn, out of all of the quote-unquote celebrities who have jumped on the MAGA crazy train, who's the one that you're most bummed out about?
Okay, this isn't because of my fiance, Wayne Gretzky.
Oh yeah,
that was his. And I remember I told my fiance is a huge, like the biggest hockey fan ever, and this was a really hard one for him because I was like, he did this and this is what happened, and he was like, yeah, but
no, there's no but.
The score, and he's still the greatest of all time. I'm like, but this is what he said.
Yeah.
Like, again, this is where it's like you and I have talked about this before. Like, I don't like Michael Jackson music no more.
Right.
Post like after Party of Five, Jackson 5. Like,
yeah.
So,
we're just, you got to cut it off.
I never really loved Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
But that was kind of a hard one too.
I agree.
Kind of
we grew up with him.
100 Rambo.
Don't Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. It's fucking rad. I love Estelle Getty. Yeah. Oh my God.
Dennis Quaid was a weird one for me though. Because I always thought of him as just so like America Dad type.
Yeah, he's not Randy Quaid. He's not crazy like his brother. So I thought that he was the sane one.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Well, and it just goes to show you, like, I don't know these people.
No.
And we're going to talk about this.
Yeah.
Like, I have no connection to them.
No.
I don't know them.
Yeah, that's the thing about Americans. We think we know these people because they come into our living rooms via our television. Surprise, they ain't your friends, bitch. Yeah. So, and 50 Cent... Like, I don't even know what's going on with him anymore. Like, I can't keep track.
No, and that wasn't and like I think with celebrities too, like if you're gonna get money, whichever side you go to.
Yes. And I also think too that for folks who, and we'll talk about this, like folks who are no longer being embraced by mainstream media are like, well, I better, like Russell Brand, right? Like now all of a sudden he's MAGA because he has all these accusations of sexual assault. He's like, I know who will embrace me.
I guess
the
so.
party of sexual assault.
Right.
Yeah. The party who supports the president who was actually convicted of sexual battery.
Right.
That's where I'll go.
It's just kind of grosser now.
Yeah.
Than ever before.
Oh,
Because it's like, if you're on that side, you're really like...
Yeah.
It's not like you'd be like, oh, I didn't know.
No, you have no morals and values. Yeah. Everything's out in the open. So for me, Rob Schneider, 100%. So sad that he became a nutcase. And he's full-blown nutcase. He's like anti-vax and shit too. Like, he bums me out. He's from Pacifica. He's half Filipino. I love The Hot Chick. That's one of our favorite movies. I love me some Deuce Bigelow. And he worked with
Adam Sandler. He was just in the new Adam Sandler movie too.
No,
and
I was putting politics aside.
I was kind of bummed at Adam Sandler for putting him in there.
I know. I'm disappointed too. What are you going to do?
I don't know.
And I think he's also, it's not just his politics and his views. Like, I think he's gone off the deep end.
But his daughter never liked him. Remember what was...
she's a singer, right?
She's a singer. Oh, damn it.
Elle King. Yes. Yeah. And I like her.
I love her. And I love her voice. Yeah. And where'd she go?
I don't know.
But like that was always a big thing where like she didn't want to be associated with her dad. And then it was like a thing where she was like, I don't like, there's some shit there. So, you know, when a daughter's not talking to their parents,
anytime a kid doesn't want to talk to their parent, it's the parent's fault for the most part. Yeah. So let's talk about some other notable celebrity cases. Now, this bitch has been all up in the media lately. Sydney Sweeney, she recently revealed she's a registered Republican in Florida, of all places. We knew this. You know, with that party she had, or the party that she threw for like her mom or her parents or whatever, where there are all these people in MAGA hats. It's like, okay, I have some Republican family too, but I'm sorry. Like, if I'm a celebrity and like have democratic values, I'm gonna cut those people out of the video. We're gonna act like y'all don't exist. Still love you, but I'll draw the line. You know, she started in a controversial American Eagle ad invoking Americana aesthetics, which were really like, why can't I think right now? Eugenics. Yes. Like weird Nazi eugenics undertones. So, you know, her identity as a conservative was publicly embraced by figures like Trump. I think she's on like hot conservative girl hashtags or some shit. The type. She definitely does. And now we know who she is. So it's up to y'all.
Be who you are. I have no problem with that.
Let's see how
I know.
Let's see how it goes for you. Yeah. Let's see how it goes. Yeah. Let's see what side of history you end up being on.
I never liked her. I hated her character on Euphoria.
I never watched Euphoria. I've done enough drugs as a teenager. I don't need to be traumatized again.
It's good. It's good. But you look at someone who does a show like that. Yeah. And then you look at the other choices that they're making as an actor and actress. And it's right. Like, I don't know.
No, I think it matters. So I don't know who Savannah Chrisley is.
I didn't know who that was. Is that the Chrisley brother or the preacher? And they have a show.
Well, it's a reality person.
Okay. I do know who this is. It's a preacher. It was like Chrisley Knows Best. It was a weird show.
Well, that should tell you everything you need to know.
Yes.
But this person endorsed Donald Trump at the 2024 Republican National Convention. And she reported losing business deals due to her support. Yet remains a vocal supporter, particularly around criminal justice reform. I wonder what she has to say about that, because on its surface does not sound bad. Motivated by her parents' cause. I don't know about her parents' case. I'm curious about that. It's funny to me too, like sometimes these right wingers who support Donald Trump, like they have like a cause that they're attached to. And I'm like, but Donald Trump
like hates your cause.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do anything about criminal justice reform. He wants to execute people for no reason. So Gen Z influencers, there's somebody named Riley Gaines. I don't know if that's Joanna Gaines's something or other. Alex Clark, Xavier Durousseau. I don't know who these people are, but we're not cool. They're Gen Z voices. Who have coalesced around conservative messaging. So embracing Trump as a relatable figure. If you find that relatable, that's incredibly problematic. I can get down with somebody. Well, I mean, I think it's sick. And greedy, but somebody who's like, oh, I think he's an idiot. He frightens me, but I care more about my money than I do about anybody else in the world.
That's it, I guess, right?
I have no idea. So there's those folks. Somebody named Linda Lee. She was a former Democratic fundraiser who turned Republican critic, labeling the Democratic campaign as misguided. So she now raises money for Trump and aligned efforts and endorsed far-right themes. Somebody named Brett Cooper, don't know who this is, young conservative commentator on Fox News. She launched her own show in 2025, openly supporting Trump. Oh, Jillian Michaels. I'm also sad about her.
Because I always thought she was a weirdo.
She's weird, but I'm also like super into fitness and like her helping people hit their goals and like becoming the best version of themselves. Though I know stuff's come out recently about that.
We can't like her anymore, Jen.
I know. No. I'm saying I used to, but now that she's come out and like this stuff, I can't. Like she was just on some show arguing it wasn't about whitewashing slavery, but rather challenging what she called overly negative portrayals of white people. It's like, sorry,
but that's what the history
folks
says.
Didn't enslave themselves, bitch. It was all whitey. We got to own this. Not only do we have to own these pieces of our history, but we have to acknowledge where this stuff is very much still alive. And I don't know how we can be better.
Maybe she's just been watching a lot of Prager University content.
Dude, I don't even know what that is, but you told me.
It's the new Sesame Street where slavery is not a big deal, Jen.
Oh, no.
In fact, they liked it.
This is why we need PBS.
Frederick Douglass is telling you it actually protected them.
From freedom. Yeah. We're protecting you from freedom.
It's not funny, but it's
my
true.
God. Well, it's just sick. It's such spin. It's such disgusting spin. Like that shit that I posted after, the last mass shooting where Fox News and other right-wing outlets were saying that Democrats saying thoughts and prayers are not enough was actually an attack on prayer. I'm like, whoa, the spin zone is alive.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, no. Those kids were praying just like my kid does every Friday at church with his classmates. And they were murdered because y'all gun nuts think that it's okay for people to own any type of firearm under the sun. I got into an argument with somebody on YouTube. Oh, we got some real weirdos coming at us on YouTube. Weird people. Don't worry. We just have to establish our community there.
On this. It won't let me look at the comments.
Because they hide the comments because they're so rude. And so you have to go to newest and then you can see them. And these people were splitting hairs over the fact that in my diatribe about easy access to weapons, I said automatic instead of semi-automatic. I was like, you gun nuts are all about splitting hairs. I'm like, who gives a shit? So I gave him facts about the AR-15 and that you have access to bump stocks in most states. I'm like, you know what a bump stock is?
No.
Well, the Supreme Court says it doesn't turn your semi-automatic weapon into an automatic weapon or a machine gun. So federally, it's legal, but certain states have prohibited it. I'm pretty sure they're illegal here in California. Don't know for sure. But dude, anyway, splitting hairs.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, going off on that, we're going to do a mean YouTube comments, all the mean tweets, Jimmy Kimmel style, probably next week. I think we've
they call us Karens, Jen.
Oh, no, worse than that. Somebody told me to give myself an uppercut. Somebody told me to prostitute myself on the streets of Oakland. Oh, God, there's tons.
Wow.
They're brilliant. Really smart people.
Love it.
So anyway, let's talk about Rob Schneider and what he's done. He was a registered Democrat from 1984 to 2013, and he switched to the Republican Party in response to his dissatisfaction with California's Democratic leadership. Then he became independent while leaning more conservative. And then in 2023, he endorsed RFK, which should tell you everything you need to fucking know.
Yeah.
And then after RFK suspended his campaign, he threw his support behind Trump. Gross. We have Russell Brand. He was known for progressive commentary. I used to really like this guy too.
Yeah.
He's increasingly aligned with conservatives and alternative media. His Stay Free with Russell Brand, I've never even heard of this, moved from YouTube to Rumble after alleged censorship issues, placing him alongside right-wing figures like Donald Trump Jr. and Alex Jones. He's in that league now. He's all about like fuck anti-woke stuff, whatever. And again, he's been accused of sexual assault.
Yeah.
And and here's some other D-list losers. Amber Rose, whom I used to think was cool and gorgeous. Don't know what's going on there.
Didn't she get into a lot of fights though? Wasn't it like Rob Kardashian?
Oh God, maybe.
And Amber Rose.
Did she have a baby by him or something?
Maybe.
I feel like
I used to back when there wasn't as much shit to get angry about, and you actually could care about the Kardashians in the way that I still don't. But I still don't. I was looking at John Voight, so I don't.
Yeah. That's where that came from.
John Voight is a Trump.
I knew he was too.
I didn't know that.
I don't think his daughter talks to him either.
No.
And I think there's some allegations of abuse, but I'm not sure.
Interesting.
So then we have, Charlie Kirk, obviously, Dana White, Hulk Hogan, who passed away, and Kid Rock, who's a real piece of shit. He runs UFC.
Oh.
He's like one of those meathead morons. So not that I have... I mean, I love Ronda Rousey, and until you tell me she's a right winger, to me, she's just a busy mom who fights. Busy mom I wouldn't fuck with. So anyway, this is scary for a number of reasons, but what's most frightening to us is what a 2024 ASH study finds in regard to how celebrities influence voting behavior in elections. So according to the research by Harvard University's ASH Center for Democratic Governance and Innovation, there is rigorous evidence that celebrity voices are incredibly powerful in promoting civic engagement and altering polling numbers. So, Carolyn, are we witnessing a broader cultural realignment in which celebrity identity becomes a part of America's culture wars?
Yes.
My head just exploded, but I think I knew the answer. The end. We're fucked.
The end. No. So, mental health perspective, it's political theater, right? It's which politics is
sure. There's a theatrical component.
Absolutely. Yes. But more so to your point, it's a shift in how people construct their own sense of self.
Got it.
Which, I don't know. Well, before the whole Damien obsession, I would have not put you in this category.
Oh, Damon obsession?
Oh, it's not Damien. Sorry.
No,
Damon.
It's the Omen versus the Vampire Diaries.
Sorry.
Let's get our shit right. I know.
But I always, like, you and I aren't really the type to be like,
if Damon had political views that were antithetical to my own, if they were ones associated with intolerance, say Ian Somerhalder. His name is not Damon. It's Ian Somerhalder.
Excuse me.
He has a real name. Say he was like, I don't support trans kids or, whatever. I'd be like, I can't.
Right.
I can't with you anymore.
Well, you and I don't think we get attached.
Not like that.
And even musicians, like, because that's kind of the closest, like, I think of musicians more as celebrities to me than actual, like, celebrities.
For the most part, yeah.
And same thing where I don't feel like you and I share this like, false identity where it's like really like enmeshed with that.
Where we feel like we know the person.
Not really.
Do they call you at home? No, bitch, they don't. Yeah. Some people get a little carried away.
I'm not saying we're better than everyone else, but
we function differently.
I think we're busier in reality.
Yes.
But again, no shame in that. But I think that's how celebrities are. Identities are anchors for a lot of people.
Yes.
And I think when you're younger, but even when I was younger, I always thought that was weird. Like I have friends who were like, obsessed and like, I can't say that. I had some weird shit in my room too, but
maybe it was,
I was obsessed
fourth grade.
With Fox Mulder and David Duchovny.
Me too. And Jim Carrey, I wore a locket around my neck when I was like 11.
It wasn't going to happen.
Right.
I just like them. It wasn't like, I had friends who like really thought like, this was going to
delusional.
Happen. I remember my first teen client, like honestly thought she was going to be with a Jonas brother. And like, that's all she talked about in sessions. And I was like, this is like, I'm not used to this.
There's, a certain level of imagination is cute with a young person. You're like, oh, you're so wholesome and sweet.
Obsessed.
But then you're like, oh, you're delusional. Whoa, we've crossed the line here.
Yeah. So again, there's something in psychology. It was researched by Eyal and Cohen. Okay. They sound Jewish. Or Israeli for sure.
There are
called
people.
Parasocial identification. We've talked about this before. I can't remember which episode it was.
I don't remember either. We've done so many.
We've done so many. Yeah. They're all there for you.
Yes.
But research shows that people form one-sided emotional bonds with media figures and bonds that feel just as real as friendships. So when someone like Sydney Sweeney reveals she's Republican or Russell Brand endorses Trump, fans react as if a close friend has either betrayed them or validated them. And this emotional intensity becomes extremely real, and psychologically, the relationship feels real. Not healthy. I'm just going to say it's not healthy. So research from Shira Gabriel at SUNY Buffalo. She talks about something called...
She also sounds like one of our people.
She's definitely one of our people. Yeah. Shira. How have I not named Shira?
Shira's like the best Jewish name ever.
Yeah. Totally. Because Princess of Power. So she calls something called social surrogacy as her thesis. But she talks about how people actually will use celebrity relationships to fulfill basic needs like belonging, self-esteem, and meaning. Aww. So again, we're talking about someone who draws all of their self-worth from a celebrity.
Right.
And I think, again, when you see little kids doing this, like weirdly, I was obsessed with Hulk Hogan as a kid because I loved WWE.
We grew up with wrestling. It was
these
cool.
things. It was cool.
My kid's obsessed with Taylor Swift.
It was, oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
But it was a way for my mom to be like, well, I bet Hulk Hogan eats all his vegetables.
Yes.
That's how he gets drunk. So like, it's not bad.
Right.
It just, this is getting to the point where it's, you're actually, when that political shift happens, it's not just a PR move. It actually disrupts fans.
Well, it has real life implications, right? Like these people, if they're 18 or over, are going out and voting on the basis of what a celebrity tells them, not data, not statistics, not politicians, but celebrities.
Well, when Oprah did this with Obama, they saw the polls increase, and we can all agree, like, oh, well, we like Oprah, although she did bring us a lot of the celebrities on this.
God damn it, Dr. Phil.
Right?
We can still love Gail, though, right?
I think we can still like Gail.
I think Gail's still all right.
I think Gail's still all right.
Yeah.
You know, so again, it's not thinking about the impact you have on your fans. And so again, the layer on to the culture war. So political identity has become a superordinate identity.
Okay.
And it's a lens that organizes everything. So it's a researcher by the name of Liliana Mason shows that when politics, social identity, and celebrity fandom overlap, the psychological investment is really, really high.
Okay.
And that's why these moments feel really, really charged. When you find out one of your celebrities, like, oh, no, not him. And it's like, oh, but me and him. And oh, I thought he liked things I liked.
Yeah.
So again, it's like, no, it's not true. So the mental health stakes absolutely are real, and they're more real for young people. And again, that's all usually what we're talking about with this shit. You and I can look at this as 40-something-year-old women and be like, oh, that's separate. But kids who grew up with the internet and who grew up with phones, it has very much changed how their brains literally are.
That's the part of the problem that I think is really salient and very different. Like we would watch our favorite celebrities on TV shows or movies. Now with social media, like they have access to content created by these people all the time.
Well, I remember loving New Kids on the Block. Yeah. And I told someone like my favorite guy was Donnie Wallenberg.
Yeah.
And
Wahlberg.
I think
Wallenberg.
Make him hella Jewish. And my friend was like, oh, he wears a peace sign on his neck, but like he's actually for this and this because she read in like a bot magazine. I was like,
it's probably
really?
like the first Iraq war.
Right? Or something like that. She's like, he wears a symbol that's not about peace. And I was like, I just like him. He doesn't wear shoes sometimes. And he shows he shows his, is that the one?
Donnie was hot.
Yeah, Donnie. Not Marky Mark.
Yeah, he's his brother, though.
That's his brother.
Yeah, okay. And Donnie, I think, is on, like, SVU or one of those shows. One of those cop shows.
Really?
Yeah, and High Pitch Eric from the Stern Show is obsessed with him. Anyway, that's a real aside.
But, you know, again, it's just the APA said that 2/3 of Gen Z adults say political tensions negatively affect their mental health. So when influencers and celebrities become political lightning rods, it adds stress for everyone. Yeah. And fans experience what psychologists call parasocial breakups. Ooh. So the parasocial bonding that's happening, right? It happens. This is what happens usually when a celebrity dies and we grieve and we feel sad.
Like when Joan Rivers died.
Oh,
yeah. A parasocial breakup.
It was I remember when I found out David Bowie died.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember I was like, oh man, that happened. And I went down and told one of the other counselors, and like she was like, I can't hear that right now, and like shut her door and was having like a full breakdown. I was like, whoa. Oh man,
so sad.
Parasocial breakup.
Yeah.
But you do actually go through genuine grief when a celebrity lets them down politically. And on the flip side, fans who agree with their favorite celebrity get a surge of belonging, validation, dopamine, all that stuff. So it's really upsetting for some people. It's really grounding for others.
Okay.
The paradox, right? And really destabilizing for other people. But either way, it shows how deeply our sense of self is wrapped into that phone and that identity. And to the point where your phone is as much a part of a biopsychosocial assessment with me as asking about your sleep. I don't even care actually about those things as much. It's like, let's look at your phone. Yeah. And let's see how many hours you're using and what you're actually using on it. It's harder than talking to people about sex.
Oh, I bet.
It's weird.
People feel dirty about it. They know they should not be. I know I should not be on my phone as much as I am. And so it's embarrassing to be like, oh, this says that I'm, on some sort of device. And most of the day, that's my computer. Yeah. Like 9 hours a day. Yeah. 10 hours a day. Like that's a lot to be looking at any screen. Right.
But if you're looking at TikTok 9 hours a day,
that's a bit different.
Right? Like you can go app by app and see like where it's like, oh, you're actually reading Politico articles.
That's true. That's true.
Or listening to a podcast. Like they are part of our lives. And that's a good thing. It can be good. But
it's a computer in our pocket.
It's just a challenge, I think, for adults and people in positions to help and teach, to help young people and adults separate that sense of self and that identity from this device, because it is extremely, all of this is really destabilizing, no matter how you look at it.
Totally. And I think the earlier we're able to intervene, the more stable adults will be and not allow this to control their lives to the extent that it can for youth and adults alike. It's crazy. Hey, Carolyn, is that still recording? Try not to knock anything down. We got a little ramshackle operation here, but we've got some new lights. Still recording? Yay! We got some new lights, so no more harsh overhead light. There'll be some updates to the pod. We look better. Be some up. I know half the lights were out in our bathroom office. Surprise, government. And people were like, "It's so dark in here." I'm like, "I love it. It's one step away from candlelight. I can't see my fun lines." So let's talk about what's driving this shift. Let's unpack key motivations. So there's identity and authenticity. So many cite personal upbringing or sense of realness delusioned with mainstream liberal media. Sweeney embraces Americana. Rousseau rejects performative activism. Lee likens democratic loyalty to a cult. That's ironic. Then there's cultural resonance and brand alignment. Political identity can reinforce a brand. Look at Sweeney. And invoking these nostalgic American, AKA white values of yesteryear.
Yeah. Like denim, which is actually made by and for African-American enslaved.
And isn't the Levi family Jewish?
Well, and they didn't do it.
Aren't we Jewish? Yeah.
They just invented the rivets. That's
they did.
All their patent is. Indigo
I didn't know
and
that.
dye. Watch the documentary. Oh man, I just forgot the name of it.
You'll have to tell me later. I'm fascinated, though.
All Levi did was make rivets.
Oh.
He didn't make jeans. Jeans were already invented. They were used to show the difference between enslaved and working class and rich. And the indigo came from Africa. And skilled workers knew how to do it. And this kid, for her name, but she basically stole that idea. I was like, I invented that. And that was it.
Another thing white people stole. God damn it.
Yeah.
All right. So there's that, the brand alignment and cultural resonance, economic and strategic benefits, right? Like look at, again, Russell Brand losing traction. Let's go align with people that embrace my shitty values, push back against cancel culture. So many resist what they perceive as an ideological policing. I think that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cancel culture can go a little bit too far. We've talked about this. We prefer call-in culture.
Yeah.
As long as the act isn't so egregious.
Like pedophilia.
Yeah. Or like, I don't know, what Harvey Weinstein did.
Or rape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. There's no coming back from those things.
You're not punk rock.
No.
Because you're anti-establishment like that, right?
And it's not society's fault for saying they no longer want to watch your films, Harvey Weinstein, because you're a fucking rapist. Like, you deserve to be canceled, Bill Cosby. I'm like naming all the rapists. But, somebody who makes an offhanded comment just out of ignorance and need to learn more, et cetera, who says, really fucked up. Like, that was stupid of me.
I'm sorry.
Somebody who owns it. Yeah, yes. I have a lot of learning to do. I'm like, all right.
That's a jumping off point.
Yeah, we can talk.
Yes.
I'm not going to be like, no, never again. I'm not that militant.
No.
I think that a lot of folks on the right have a view of those of us on the left as being incredibly militant. It's like all my trans friends. If I occasionally slip and use the wrong pronoun.
I've never had someone get upset with me.
One of my best friends. I've known them for 30 years. They only transitioned within the last 5 years. Occasionally I slip. They're not like, stop fucking up my pronouns. Like occasionally it happens. It's not coming from a malicious place.
No.
But I think a lot of people on the right are like, oh, we're going to get vilified.
I don't think so.
No, I think for the most part, people are understanding.
Absolutely. So, if you're trying.
Every trans person I know makes fun of the ultra militant folks and is like, yeah, no thanks. So And then again, it could just be that these folks, their souls are actually dog shit. So the politics of MAGA line up with who they are really, like Russell Brand again. This year, let's talk more about these things that I've been alluding to. British police charged him with rape and sexual assault following an 18-month investigation sparked when 4 women alleged they had been assaulted by him. The alleged offenses involved 4 women and took place between 1999 and 2005. One in the English seaside town of Bournemouth, and the other 3 in the Westminster area of central London.
Oh, London.
So, whenever there's multiple women or people coalescing and saying, like, this happened to me at the hands of this person, and they all have similar stories, it's really unlikely that they're ganging up against you to ruin your career. That's just not usually how this stuff works.
Don't really have anymore.
Yeah. Forgetting Sarah Marshall was like a really long time ago, bitch.
I know. And I never even thought he was that funny.
No. Definitely not. It's the other people in that movie that make that movie amazing.
Yeah.
So, the cultural implications and risks. So, when you go super far right like this, the emerging stars like Sweeney, she risks alienating non-aligned fans, and her political branding could backfire. And we're actually starting to see that. Like I saw an H&M ad today that was like the antithesis of that ad.
Yep. And Gap did one too.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're embracing diversity and people who aren't like,
You're not even from a marketing standpoint. That doesn't mean people are going to buy your product.
Right.
Like they're actually, the people who want to do that will go support that.
Yeah.
And look at Target, right?
I was going to say, have we learned nothing from Target? So, there's that. So, the polarization of influence, public alignment both energizes supporters and cements divisions. So shifting influence landscape, traditional Hollywood influence is waning compared to social influencers like podcasters, YouTubers, new media personalities now drive political cultural sway. So even what we think about as celebrity has shifted significantly.
100%.
Significantly. There is a woman, I actually love her. This has nothing to do with politics, but her name is Paige Spiranac. She's a golfer. She's also gorgeous, uses erotic capital. She has more followers on, I think, Instagram than Tiger Woods.
And she's actually good, too.
She's actually a really good golfer, which is why I hate these fucking incels who talk shit about her and her golf game. Like, she's talented, she's awesome, and she seems like a really good person who goes into schools and to events to talk about bullying. And she just seems like a good person. But anyway, more followers than Tiger Woods, an actual professional golfer. She's never turned professional as far as I know. So, this is from a Reddit thread. Jake Paul, Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, they all backed Trump. So no, celebrity influence in politics isn't dying. Social media influencers, YouTubers, and podcasters are the new celebrities. Let's talk about the influence that social media has on politics a little bit more and voting habits. We've touched on this. So, we hate the term influencer, but I think it's an important component in the grand scheme of things when it comes to our topic. So social media is a major news source for voters. So as of 2023, about half of U.S. adults say they get their news from social media, at least sometimes. I do. I aggregate all of my news. They all happen to be legitimate news sources, but it's all aggregated through social media, typically through Facebook. That's what I use primarily for that. Why it matters. The news and political content people encounter on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube can shape their political opinions and voting intentions. I watch The Lincoln Project and Rick Wilson on YouTube almost every fucking night. And I'm politically aligned with him. If I weren't, he wouldn't be changing my mind necessarily. It's the not confirmation bias, but seeking out information that aligns with the way that we think.
But so to your point, every once in a while we do watch Fox, or I do go on MAGA TikTok just to see. And I'm like, yep, still not.
No. And we're never going to change our mind when it comes to our core principles and values and philosophies. But on little things, like somebody might be able to change my mind on something. Absolutely. Like, I never thought of it that way. That's an interesting perspective, but it's not going to be in the way that MAGA approaches things. No. So, influencers can affect political attitudes and turnout. So this is a fact. A 2020 study found that social media influencers can meaningfully affect young voters' political attitudes and turnout intentions, especially when perceived as authentic or relatable. Why does this matter? As you said, influencers have parasocial relationships with their audience. That's why it matters. People perceive these as real relationships. Influencer campaigns have measurable effects on voter turnout. A randomized control trial during the 2020 election showed that influencer-led voter mobilization campaigns increased turnout among young voters by up to 1.2 percentage points. That's actually significant. Why it matters, even small increases can impact the outcomes of elections.
Yeah.
So, all of this matters. Social media increases political polarization and selective exposure. Research shows that social media can amplify political polarization by showing users more content that aligns with their beliefs. Just what I said, echo chamber.
It's the algorithm.
Yeah, we just happen to love our echo chamber. So, Carolyn, in regard to this latter point, talk to us about the degree in which social identity theory explains the emotional reactions people have toward political content shared by influencers or peers.
Yeah. And I mean, again, this is most worrisome for me for lonely males ages 12 to 20 something, 18 maybe. Again, this is a big deal. You talked about the incels, right?
Yeah.
When influencers post political content, this theory becomes predictive. And followers aren't just processing information. They're having measurable neurological and physiological responses. It seems to not I don't really think we've been taught the level to which our brain cells will change.
Yeah. Like a drug.
Adapt. Yes. And until we start, I was just reading something about the mommy brain and how your brain post-pregnancy has already, it structurally completely changes.
It never went back.
It never goes back. It never goes
still
back.
A mess. Yeah.
But, so it's very important that we really understand that this is it's an organ and it's changing to adapt to the world around us.
Yeah.
And, so this is where this systematic review of looking at I love this, the Journal of Medical Internet Research.
Oh,
how cool of a journal is that?
Very
Looked
important.
at 16 studies that found that social networking sites are linked to higher risks of, we know this, depression, anxiety, physiological and psychological distress. Here's the kicker though. Positive interactions lower those risks.
Okay.
So again, I'm never going to say it's throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Right.
You've said that internet giveth, taketh away. It's not all bad. If you're watching things that are puppy videos or
I need puppy videos sometimes.
Kids being silly or husbands doing dumb things.
Right.
It's funny. We get a lot of joy from this.
Yes.
It's the same way you could say TV was bad for kids.
And laughter's super important, right?
Absolutely,
And if we're watching things that make us laugh.
And if it's between someone having no contact or this, yes. Having that is wonderful, but negative interactions and social comparisons always are going to raise them. So social identity theory explains why this happens. So Henry Tajfel and John Turner's classic work in the late 1970s shows that people automatically sort themselves into groups, the in-group, the out-group.
Yeah.
I'd like to think at 43, I'm done with that. But you put me in a room at a conference and all of a sudden I'm like, where do I fit in? It's a little less, right? Yeah. But where the cool people are, right?
It's human nature.
They're at the bar.
They're typically going to be at the bar.
Not always.
But I think it's just our nature to seek out people who appear like-minded.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so when Jake Paul and Amber Rose post something political, followers aren't just reading content. They're expressing and experiencing identity validation or threat on a neurological level. And you're going to also, what I think is interesting though, is, we've seen this, the lengths people go to defend.
Yeah.
It's all day people are talking about this. If I might look at a post and say something snarky, but
not worth my time most of the time,
typically.
Unless I'm defending us.
And so, exactly.
And even then, I'll just
You're very good at it. You're very good at it. Your burns are sick. But brain imaging data actually is backing this up. So a study in Neuron by Karev and his colleagues showed that celebrity endorsements activate the same brain ranges tied to reward learning. Another study in the Journal of Consumer Psychology by Burns and Moore found that this lights up areas connected to trust and memory formation. So an influencer posts something that aligns with your politics and your brain is actually going to release dopamine.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
But
not really. And if it doesn't, it's a threat detection that's going to kick in. So again, this is all polyvagal theory in action. This is fight or flight nervous system stuff in action. So downstream effects are actually measurable too. So a national study survey led by Brian Primack in 2017 found that people using 7 to 11 social media platforms had 3 times the odds of experiencing higher level of stress responses than people who had 2 or fewer. So then add in the parasocial relationships. So Horton and Wall wrote about this back in the 1950s, what they called a parasocial interaction. And more recent studies show people that talk about themselves 80% of the time on social media versus only 30% of the time in real life, which that makes sense because it's like, Jen and I, like we're talking about ourselves, right? And it creates what has been called performed intimacy. Again, I know we talked about this in a prior episode. So favorite influencers take a political stance, feels like a different opinion, either feels like something's getting bolstered or something's getting busted. So if we zoom way out, let me give you a World Health Organization report that problematic social media use among adolescents went from 7% in 2018, 11% in 2022, higher in girls, 13% compared to 9% for boys. And I bet that number's off the wall now.
Yeah.
So it doesn't just explain what we're seeing. The social identity theory is going to predict it. And influencers posting political content, you and I always perform better when we post political content on TikTok.
Yeah, I think it's 1, the world we live in. 2, we're super passionate about it. And 3, like my academic background and my professional background are in that. And you have the psychological lens.
Even I haven't made it in the psych TikTok yet, though. They haven't quite found us yet. I got to do more posting.
Yeah, the crossover between politics and psychology, I think, is really important. And I think that's why this episode is, fascinating, because this really, it shows that crossover and it shows how important, for good or bad, the influence of celebrity, whether they be influencers or traditional celebrities, for lack of a better word, that impact on people. And for us, we're always looking at young folks, I think, in particular, one, because there's that instinct to protect, because their brains aren't completely formed. They don't make great decisions. You're not supposed to make great decisions when you're a kid. And so it's like the Jesuits, get them while they're young. Like there's still time to intervene and to maybe talk some sense into these kids around some of these behaviors that could ultimately turn into a bigger problem or a prolonged problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know,
I feel like the influencers used to, for us, were like our teachers though. Like
I think they had a greater influence when we were growing up because our world of influence was so much smaller than it is today. And parents can't be everywhere all the time. No. And so that's the hard part is, now that article that, we're going to do an episode on the whole AI thing and did a suicide post about it today. And it's just heartbreaking. And it's like, as if us parents didn't have enough to worry about as it was, but now you include this whole new phenomenon. And it's like, what am I supposed to do? Take away your computer?
It's the new predator, though.
It is. It absolutely is. My
Did you finish Adolescence yet?
Yes, I did. I did finish it.
That last episode's hard, huh?
It's very hard. It's incredibly hard because the kid, there's no, he definitely, well, I'm not going to say anything. I can't say anything because I want you.
It's been around a long time. If you haven't watched it yet, come on.
I want you all to watch it. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but I think that show in particular, that last episode paints how challenging it is for parents these days to be everywhere at all times.
And what did we do?
And and
why
always,
this one and not this one?
Yeah.
And what? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and so this is again this issue extends much further than just children, adolescents, young adults. Like this is something that impacts adults as well.
Absolutely.
But if there is an opportunity to intervene and get kids to think more critically, to get everybody to think more critically, right? Like, okay, Sydney Sweeney, like if you're out there actually, giving any particular message around a particular policy, like where are you getting your information from? Where did you learn about this? What's your background? What gives you the authority to speak on this? I'm not saying people can't have opinions just by virtue of being citizens of the United States. At the same time, like it's very important for me, and maybe this is because we're researchers, that the information I get come from somebody who knows what they're talking about. I'm watching James Carville at night. I'm watching Rick Wilson at night. I'm listening to people who can give statistics.
There's a ethical side to our jobs and our interests that, to me, the worst thing possible would be to, not worst thing possible, but I don't want to give bad research.
Yeah.
So at least in conversations like, hey, well, I read this study. I don't know if this is true, or, or here's what I've been reading, or this is what I've heard. You don't want to be that person who is spouting things that just aren't true. So even when I read something, I've learned to like, where did it come from? Like
trust
all these
verify.
Things that we've just been taught, and having, again, it's just, that's, there's no ethics in acting and media.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it speaks to a larger conversation, which we're not going to have today, about the American education system and teaching people to discern fact from fiction and teaching people how to conduct proper research. What makes a viable source versus fake news.
And why would this celebrity be talking about this? What's in it for them? Follow the money train.
Always. So, closing thoughts around this is, political identity is now performance and platform. And as entertainment merges with ideology, the stakes for celebrities get higher. So here's some questions to think about. When does political alignment enhance a celebrity's brand, and when does it harm it? Will followers of these figures prioritize ideology over persona? Is the rise of influencer conservatism reshaping political outreach? Think about all these things, but also I think the most important question to ask yourself when you're listening to somebody espouse a particular view is, where is this information coming from? Can I substantiate this with fact? That's the most important thing. And I don't want to hear...
Oh yeah, here we go.
When you respond back, hey, that's actually inaccurate. And here's the data to disprove what they're saying. Well, that's what they want you to believe. It's like, bitch, you say, I'm so tired of this. So there are certainly some people who will never believe,
of course,
quantifiable, verifiable data. And that, again, goes back
what happened to you?
Yeah. What happened to you, dog? Anyway,
are you okay?
We hope we hope you enjoyed this episode. It was supposed to be one of our lighter episodes, but I don't think anything is truly light with us.
No.
Maybe we'll bring you something lighter for the Halloween season, right?
Ooh, it's happening.
It's going to happen. So anyway, we appreciate you listening. Follow us on where
Instagram,
are we again?
TikTok.
Yeah, Instagram, TikTok. TikTok seems to be where we have our largest community, right?
YouTube, we're trying on YouTube.
YouTube, we're really trying to make a dent on YouTube.
Mean.
We need our army. We need our twat army. So if you're not subscribed there, please subscribe to The World According to Jen and Carolyn on YouTube and have our back. And it's also really entertaining to see just how disgusting and depraved some of these comments are.
Some of our listeners, though, and our followers are so funny, though, in their comments back.
Well, on TikTok, now we have this established community of almost 4,000, fellow, progressives.
Twats.
Yeah, fellow twats. And so when somebody says something, half the time before we even have the chance to respond, they're all over this person.
And I love it.
It's the best. It's beautiful. It is truly what community or a type of community can be.
It gives me goosebumps.
We have each other's back.
Yay.
And that's what matters. Yes. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon. Bye.